All right, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Planning Committee meeting this evening. I'm Councillor Caleb Tomlinson, the chair of the committee. I'm going to forgo housekeeping this evening because there's no members of the public here. You all know what to do if there's a fire alarm. Follow me through them doors. If you can have your phones switched off, please, or on silent. Doesn't actually affect the sound quality if you've got them on silent. Okay, we're still streaming live on YouTube, so we will still do our introductions, and we will start with the young lady on my left.
Good evening, Jodie Ingram, I'm the solicitor.
Charlotte Lynch, Democratic Services.
Good evening, Caroline Moon, councillor for Buckshot and Worden.
Gareth Watson for Countbury and Gregson Lane.
Hello, Hunter, Bamber Bridge East.
Chris Lomax, Waltonley Dale East.
Councillor Phil Smith, New Longton and East.
Good evening, Councillor Harry Hancock, Broad Oak Ward, Penwitham.
Councillor Peter Molyneux, Salisbury and Walton, substituting for Barry Yates.
Good evening, Councillor Colin Sharples, Earnshaw Bridge Ward, substituting for Malcolm Donoghue.
Good evening, John Hesketh, representing Hutton and Longton West.
Good evening, Councillor Will Adams, and I represent Middlefirth in Penwitham.
Good evening, Councillor Mary Green, representing Mossad and Midge Hall.
Good evening, everyone. Councillor James Flannery, representing Middlefirth, Penwitham.
Good evening, Janice Crook, Planning Officer.
Good evening, Debbie Roberts, Planning Officer.
Okay, thanks everyone. I think we've covered apologies for absence, so Charlotte doesn't need to be brought in here. Do we have any declarations of interest this evening? Okay, I have read and agree with the minutes of the meeting held on the 28th of April 2022. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Hesketh, thank you. We need to go to the vote electronically on that one. If you weren't here, you need to abstain. Okay, thank you. All right, thanks for that, ladies and gentlemen. Moving on swiftly to item number 5, appeal decisions. Debbie.
None, thank you, Chair. Short and sweet.
All right, we'll now move on to item 6, 333 Dunkirk Lane, Moss Side, Leyland. And if Debbie could present this item and give us the reason why it's in front of us this evening.
Thank you, Chair. 333 Dunkirk Lane is a semi-detached property surrounded by open land and located in the Greenbelt. It's brought to committee because the applicant's related to a serving council officer. The proposal is a 2-storey side extension, single-storey rear extension and front porch. It will be set back from the ground and first floor, set down at ridge to show subservience, and it will be in materials to match the existing. It accords to the adopted guidance in terms of volume increase and in design terms. This is not my presentation, there's a lot of slides on this. The existing property, off-road parking isn't compromised, and again, showing the relationship with the neighbours. There's no loss of amenity as a result. And we would say there are no objections, and we'd like to go for approval with conditions. Thank you, Chair.
All right, thanks for that brief presentation, Debbie. We don't have any members of the public. We don't have the applicant. We have the ward member, Michael Green, wishing to speak.
Thank you, Chairman. Good evening, planning committee members. For the benefit of those who may or may not be watching the meeting, my name is Michael Green. I'm councillor for the Moss Side ward. With regard to this application, I've just got some short comments, if I may. I do have a concern over encroachment into the green belt and development in the green belt. Nevertheless, having looked into this application, it appears to be completely policy compliant. And on that basis, colleagues, I do support the application this evening. Thank you, Chairman.
Okay, thanks. Let's sort it. Councillor Adams, and then Councillor Hesketh, then Councillor Mrs Green.
Thank you, Chair. Yeah, it's very straightforward for me. It's policy compliant. I'd like to propose approval. Thank you.
Councillor Hesketh.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This would normally have been done under delegated powers, Mr. Chairman, in normal circumstances. And as I see it, I'm not too worried about the green belt in actual fact in this particular instance, because it is within its own curtilage, and it's not going to affect neighbours in any way. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I will go along with approval as well.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Hesketh. Councillor Mrs Green.
Yeah, as the other board member, yes, at first glance I did have concerns, because obviously it's green belt and we always need to consider carefully any building whatsoever in green belt. But on examination of the report and going to see the property, etc., it falls into the rules and regulations that it's not 50% more than the original building, which is the rules of the council. Therefore, I can't see there being a problem. There's a big area of land next to it with no houses, and there is a big building next door, be it that it's an agricultural building, which obviously is allowed anyway in Greenbelt. But I don't think there'll be any problem with this application. So I'm not feeling that I want to object or anything. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Councillor Green. Do we have any other proposals? No, okay. So if we can go to the vote, this is approval with conditions.
Members have voted unanimously to approve the application in respect of 333 Dunkirk Lane, and that's approval with conditions.
Okay, thanks for that, Jodie. We now move on to item number 7 this evening, exclusion of press and the public. Does anybody on the committee wish to speak on this, or are we going straight to the vote? No, okay, we'll go for the vote. This is to vote in favour of ending the live stream on YouTube and going private.
Members have voted unanimously to exclude